local one first, then online if it is there, then you will do the later.
Okay, may I start? Okay. Our proposal is about vegetable market chain management in Mizoram. So, in our plan, we are planning to implement this project in the Aizawl city because most of the vegetable products and the biggest market is in Aizawl city. So we are planning Aizawl as the pilot project for this one. So for the introduction, over 90% of Mizoram population is ST, and over 60% of the population, they depend directly or indirectly in the agriculture or the products. So the villagers or the farmers, most of them, they don't have any other kind of income other than agriculture. So agriculture is very important for their livelihood. These vegetable products, other than cereal crops, they are brought to the towns and cities, and they are selling it. This is the source of their monetary income, basically. But even though this vegetable market is very important, but there is very little or no management in this vegetable supply. Most of the vegetable supply in the cities, they are just happening on the basis of their own experience. If they are bringing to the city, and if they can sell, they sell. But if they cannot sell, they just leave it to rot or they are losing. And the problem mainly for the farmers is that they had to rely on the middleman. So if they are bringing the product, like a tomato, they are selling to the middleman for 40 rupees, but in the market, in the retail market, the price is over 200 rupees. So most of the vegetables are sold that way. So the farmers who are actually producing the products, they are least benefited by their work. Middlemen are the ones who are getting most profit for the vegetable market. And supply and demand requirements, they are not communicated. And there is no platform for formally managing the demand and supply. So whatever they produce, there is no place for cold storage. They just bring to the market. But since they do not have a place in the market, they are forced to sell to the middlemen. So these middlemen are also private, not controlled by the government. So they are just quoting any price that they want. If they don't want to sell, they don't have any other place to go. They cannot sell in the market. So they are forced to sell at any price quoted by the middleman. So it is very disadvantageous for the farmers and the cultivators. And the government nowadays, they are planning to regularize this vegetable market chain. But since there is no data which particular item is produced in which area and how much amount and who are the consumers, those kind of data is not available. But during the time of pandemic, some of our colleagues in the Mizoram University, they are from geography department, they also shared their resources. In that they have studied the vegetable supply chain during the pandemic time. But pre-pandemic time, there was no vegetable supply chain. So whatever they produce, they brought to the city and they sell. But during pandemic, people were not allowed to move freely. Therefore, things were supposed to be managed by the government. Therefore, government have entrusted the departments so that they will be tracking how much quantity is coming from which side and what is the demand in the city based on the locality. Those kind of data becomes available. So in this study also, we are basing those data. But after pandemic, things were supposed to be better because some experience has been obtained at the time of pandemic. But things were going back as normal. Therefore, the vegetable supply chain is again in a messy state. And for the government, it is not possible to make policies based on the data, which is not existing. Since this is the primary requirement for the farmers and cultivators to have a proper link, government also is planning the same thing. And all political parties like Congress is there, MNF is there, and ZPM is there. Their primary objective is to make a proper vegetable market chain, and they put it in their own policies. But these kind of things cannot be implemented without the use of ICT. Just by knowing from their memory what item is produced and what item is being sold. Based on just the memory, it is not possible to manage all these things. It has to be based on the factual data and the real-time data. And those data are not available. That is the problem, and that is what we are planning to fill the gap here. This was the study made by our colleagues in Mizoram University during the pandemic time. So I'm not putting all the detailed data here, but out of their study, they have studied 37 local areas in Aizawl, and those local areas were supplied by the vegetable products from different production centers in the villages. So those data is available with us. And during pandemic time, what they found out is these kind of transactions happening in the system. So farmers and suppliers, they are the main source of vegetables here. So these vegetables, these products are given to the vegetable supply chain, which is managed by the government. That is one channel. And another channel is local level task force. In every local areas, there is local level task force. They are responsible for determining what is the requirement in the particular area. How much quantity of mustard, how much quantity of potatoes. Those requirements are evaluated by the local level task force. And then these demands are communicated mainly through WhatsApp and Facebook. But those are not supposed to be the main management systems. Therefore, even though they are managing just using social media platforms, they are doing it nicely, and none of the people were starved due to COVID pandemic. Therefore, we are thinking that if we continue this work, maybe integration with ICT, we can help a lot of people. That was our intention. Now going to the problem. The supply and demands, they do not link properly. So whatever they produce, they are bringing to the market. If they cannot sell, since the vegetables are perishable, they just lose. But if they are bringing more than the demand, they are forced to sell with very small amount. So that is one problem. Wastage of time and resources due to lack of communication. What actually happens in the Aizawl city market, we are calling Saturday as the market day. So all the villagers, the producers, the farmers, they are bringing their products by Friday evening in the city. And they had to find a place to sell their products because the markets are already occupied by those who are having seats in the market. So they cannot sell their products in the market. They had to find a place somewhere in the roadside, and they will have to keep that spot. So they are forced to stay overnight. That means Friday night in the streets. So in the next day, they will be selling in the market, but by evening they had to finish. Even if they sold it out or not, they had to finish. So lots of resources and time was wasted for the farmers. And another problem is those products that they are selling in the market, since they are selling in the roadside, sometimes when rain comes, it is a lot of problems for them. And we feel that if they just concentrate on the production, not think about how to bring to the marketplace and to have all those headaches, we don't think that they deserve. They had to confine their thoughts on just the production. Once they produce, why they had to have problems trying to sell their products? We feel that maybe the government or some other organizations should take care, maybe the transporters. That is what we feel, and they are losing lots of resources, and they are also exhausted. After working for a long time, and if they are not possible to sell their products, that is devastating for them. And payment and trust related problems. Some of the things that we know is these people in the market, they don't know personally each other. So they had to talk through phone. Okay, I'm requiring this much quantity of tomato, and they just deliver. Then after that, sometimes they just disappear. Therefore, they are losing. And there is no proper way to check if they are calling in their mobile phone, and if they are not picking up. That is the end. So people are not trusting one another. That is another problem. And if payment is not made, then they lose. Reliability issues of vendors and producers. In this regard, the same thing that I'm saying about the trust-related problems. If one producer is bringing his products in the city, then one person takes over. But sometimes they may not check the content of that box. But sometimes those contents may be very bad quality vegetable products. But later on, they don't know each other. That means there is no proper rating and there is no registration. Therefore, those kind of things can happen. So by implementing registration and trust-based systems, all the users will register themselves, and if they deal with any other person, it would be possible to have ratings. And if any person is having high rating, then they can trust that person. Therefore, all of them will try to be honest with one another, and thereby increase the efficiency of the vegetable product. And like I said, farmers, producers are often improve a little bit, but not to the very large extent. That is what we foresee. So in order to solve the problems that we have just mentioned, we are proposing the platform to manage supply and demand so that they will link it up. For example, it may be initiated from the producer's side. In that case, if the producer is uploading or telling the community that I have produced this much amount and the location is here, and if you want to purchase it, you can purchase it at this rate. That kind of thing he can publish. And from the demand side, I am the vegetable supplier in this part of the city. So in this coming Saturday, I will be requiring this much quantity of this item, this item, this item. And from that demand, then if the demand is published in the application, then other people who are having that particular items, they will deliver to him. Okay, that would be one solution. And trust-based system using recent technologies. Nowadays, when you browse any internet, maybe if you are going to the shopping site, maybe Facebook, maybe I mean Amazon or Flipkart, whatever you were searching in the platform, there will always be suggestions. So they are actually implementing the machine learning technologies. Therefore, we also plan to implement this kind of technology within the application. and e-payment integration possibility. Since all the users are going to be registered, e-payment will be possible. If someone is not paying, then that will always be able to kept track. And generation of possible data sets. Nowadays, manual generation of data is not usually sufficient because we have to go to the market, we have to ask person by person, and then only data set will be generated. But if we develop a system, and that system is taking care of whoever is requiring how much quantity of these items, and if it is published, it will be there in the database. If any item is produced in this particular area, and that area is producing this much of tomatoes, potatoes, and mustards, those things, the records will always be there in real time. So those data, if we kept it, then it would be a very good base for policy makers as well. So to start with, we are planning the Aizawl vegetable market chain. And this technology, if we produce it, even though we might not be the ones to enforce it for the people or to the government, then this readily available technology will be rendered to the public for further development if they want to use. So proposed intervention, software application prototype, we will be developing, and machine learning based will be integrated, maybe especially for the ratings and all, and reliability. And then integration of local language sentiment analysis. This is some of the co-PIs are working on the local language sentiment analysis. Even though it is not mature, it is in the research state. So if the project is granted, we also plan to integrate this local language sentiment analysis. And blockchain technology. Sometimes people are not trusting the ICT systems, mainly because it is temperable. So they will make some changes in the database, and those things are with the people who are reluctant to use the technology. Therefore, to prove that it is tamper-proof, one of our faculty is working in this security and blockchain technology. That technology can also be utilized. And proposed deliverables. These are the things that we are planning to deliver at the end of the project. Maybe during the time of the project also. User-friendly software prototype. And knowledge and baseline study for further development. We will be leaving it for those who want to continue with the project. And ready to use technologies in machine learning and sentiment analysis and data and information for future development. This is roughly the proposed workflow. Even though this proposed workflow is to be generated after exhaustive study and research in the market. But this is what we think should be happening in the vegetable market chain. Because if the approved middleman is not available, they will try to reduce the selling price for the farmers. So they will take it in a very cheap price, and they will try to gain maximum profit. So like I said, tomato may be bought from the farmers at rupees 40, but they are selling at 200. So where is the 160 rupees? It is supposed to be with the middleman. Therefore, we are feeling that this middleman should be the approved and registered with the government. The government might not have the facility or manpower to do the middleman works, but they may identify some of the corporations. The corporations under the government, like MZU, though they were also responsible for managing the vegetable market chain during the pandemic time. So that kind of model can be integrated in the system. Okay, I think that is all the presentation. Next slides are the proposed financial outlay. But these are very rough, and we had to finalize it later on if we are getting green signal from the funding agencies. Thank you, sir.
thanks a lot for identifying this very relevant and very impactful problem from your region. And I commend yours and Dr. Somain's efforts in identifying this problem. And so I just have a few questions. If you go back to the slides, uh, when you mentioned that the platform will manage the supply and demand. So usually uh, the supply would be, let's say, if I say that certain food commodity would be required uh, this Saturday,
Yes.
but the farmers should be informed about this, the availability of such products prior to, because they need to grow them as well, na?
Yes, sir.
So those farmers who are already producing certain food products, that's great that it's not going to get wasted, and they
Yes.
are also going to get the full payment and more value of their product. So that's actually a, a good solution. But along with that, if artificial intelligence could be included in your solution, so that after 1 year, you already have a detail about information about what kind of products would be required and in what season.
Yes, sir.
Mostly, like, let's say tomatoes you mentioned. So tomatoes would be required in large quantities in, let's say, September.
Yes, sir.
So the farmers could be informed about this at least 3 or 4 months prior, so that
Yes.
they should be prepared with the produce.
Yes, sir. That was actually in our mind.
Okay, great.
Therefore,
great.
if we have data for maybe 3-4 years,
Huh.
then data will be more stable.
I think if
So-
you include the government intervention, because you mentioned that the government is also trying to develop this kind of solution, but they
Yes.
don't have any technological means to actually manage the entire supply chain.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're actually building it for them. So if you include the government agencies from the very beginning, even in the proposal, if any of the government agencies, let's say the agriculture department, the government agriculture department could also issue a letter that we'll be working along with them. So they already have the data available
Yes, sir.
with them
Yes, sir.
for last couple of years or last like lots of years, and they could provide you the data on the basis of which you could train your models and provide the recommendations.
Yes, that would be a good suggestion, sir.
So I think, sir, that would be a great value add if any of the government agencies who are willing to implement this solution comes along, and they are also one of the members of the implementation of this
Yes.
proposal.
Yes, sir.
That's actually, it would be very great for the people of Mizoram, and going forward, like you're implementing it in Aizawl first, and then it could be implemented in
Rolled out in the rest of the
Correct.
state. Yes.
And the entire Northeast, because
Yes.
everywhere it's the same problem. And I think I've discussed it with Dr. Sumain as well, that the import of food produce from other states
Yes.
are actually improving, and the local produce is not getting the actual benefit, or
Yes.
the local producers are not getting the actual benefit. So that that data is also available. The imports that are being made from other states,
Yes.
if the government could identify that these are some of the food commodities that should be produced locally, so your farmers could be provided a recommendation that actually it's more beneficial for you, that instead of tomato you should crop potato this season.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So that's including the government would be a great value add to your
Yes, sir.
project.
Yes, sir.
And I think
So, sir,
Yes.
as it is only a 3-4 days we have to submit the proposal. So, and in this stage, communicating with the government agency and their feedback, taking their feedbacks or their collaborations, I think little bit impossible for us. So, for the time being, if we just want to submit the proposal and if your green signal is there, so with this or maybe some deliverable we just cut, what is your view? If you can give some suggestion on that.
No, sir, absolutely. This proposal should be submitted because it solves a local problem, and it solves a problem for people who are actually the marginalized communities.
Yes, sir.
So we invite you to submit it. You could mention that we are trying to collaborate with the government, and list some of, at least send them an email and try to have a communication with them.
That is okay, we can
so that you could showcase, or maybe most probably these proposals would be evaluated before 20th. So in the meantime, from 10th to 20th, on 10th you could mention that we have initiated the conversation with the government departments.
Yes.
Before 20th, if any of the approvals came, or let's say our association comes along,
Yes.
so that would be a good thing for you, sir.
Yes. They will be interested, I know.
Absolutely, sir. So that's a win-win situation for all.
Yes, sir.
Great, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Okay.
So you have mentioned the platform you are using. Just go back to that particular slide.
Okay.
Yeah, platform to manage supply and management you are mentioning
Yes.
in the next slide, I think. So which kind of platform you are going to use?
Basically, it is a software platform, and we are planning the Android or iOS application to be developed.
Okay, so it will be the prototype developed.
Yeah,
by you.
prototype, not
Okay.
a full-fledged software.
So can we develop an online marketplace also, so that it will be helpful for the suggestions
Yes,
which
yes.
is given by Vishnu sir? So
Yes,
it
that will be all integrated.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Which Nita, sir? Yes, sir. We wanted some feedback from Santosh sir and Vishnu sir.
Vishnu sir is here. We will talk. You can talk here. Santosh sir is not here. Vishnu sir is here.
Oh,
Yeah, you just
fine, sir.
connect now. We can talk.
Sure, sure, sir.
Hello. Hello. Neeta ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Vishnu.
Sir, I'm here.
If you have any questions, or if you want to let everyone know about your proposal, you could present, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, Gorsan sir will be presenting. I'm just
Sure.
Actually, it's echoing a lot.
Yeah, I'll make my mic. I'll keep on my mic on mute. You start presenting, ma'am.
So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Nanaucha Sharma from IBSD Imphal. So, this is an institute, and this full form is Institute of Bioresource and Sustainable Development. So, in the meantime, I just want to introduce my colleague. We have Dr. Sylvia Itnam, who is working as a Ramalinga Fellow here in IBSD. And then we have Dr. Nita Patao. So there are two Nitas. So it's, just to be not to confuse, our IBSD Nita is Nita Patao, and then the other one from NIT is Nita Tingtam. So today, our colleague, the Dr. Nita, she's a research scientist here in IBSD Imphal. So you will be presenting what we want to propose in this call for proposal. So if you have anything from NIT side and from IIT side or from MZU side, so we have just to introduce our institute. This is an research institute under the Department of Biotechnology under the Ministry of Science and Technology. So we have apart from Imphal, we have one center in Shillong, one in Mizoram, and one in
So
Sikkim.
sorry to interrupt
So we
you.
work
If
our
you have a
headquarters in
presentation,
Imphal.
you could
So
project that
excuse me, other
presentation
people who
online.
are not speaking, can you please mute your mic?
Sir, excuse me. Sorry to interrupt you. If you have a presentation, you could project your screen as well, so everyone could see.
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Just want
Sure,
to
sir.
give you an introduction what we work on.
Okay, okay, sir. Please go ahead.
Nita Patau, in the meantime, can you pull up your slide, please?
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, okay, sir. Can you just give me some time, sir? I will just this thing from my mail. Yes, sir.
No. Maybe I can pull up from here. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. That would be great then, sir.
You start presenting. So our mandate of our institute is to use the bioresources available in the whole Northeast to enhance the economy of this region. So this is the mandate of our institute. So our institute is under the Department of Biotechnology. So we have many projects and we have many core funding fund also directly from the department. So project is not funding is not an issue here, but the only thing is that we want to do it something for this region for the development of the scheduled tribe. That's our mandate. That's the reason why we joined this project formulation. So I'll pull up the start the presentation. So Dr. Nita Patau will start presenting. You can go ahead, Nita.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, sir. Can I have the second slide, please, sir? Good afternoon to you all. I am Dr. Nita Pathau, and to give a brief introduction of what work we are envisaging to take upon. Now, with the first slide, although I have not given here, it is just the topic that we want to work, like that is the classification of plants or identification of plants based on metabolite content using AI techniques. Now, as we know, identification of plants is one of the bottlenecks. We're talking about bioresources, we are talking about development of the region. If we do not identify the plants true to its cause, it is a very, that there lies the bottleneck. So identification of plants is a crux for any kind of bioeconomic purpose. So basically our work our work is on this only, but based on metabolite content. Here, to start with my presentation, I would like to say that the identification of plants, which is basically based on morphological characters like microscopic or macroscopic studies. Now, that is the conventional way of identification of plants. However, there have in recent years there have been use of molecular data in identification of plants or taxonomically identifying plants, which has been highly successful, but has its own limitations, as there are not many plants which have whole genomes. And to talk about taxonomic relevance or taxonomic associations or phylogenetic similarities based on just few pockets of sequences, it is a bit there lies the limitation. And apart from there, also, as we have in recent years, there have been data where there have been observed, there are some horizontal gene transfers that have been observed in plant species. So plant using molecular taxonomy also full-fledgedly identification is cannot be ascertained. Now, as we know that plants are the major contributors of natural products, and they're usually rich in nutritional or medicinal properties. Now, plants have their own chemical signatures. So these chemical signatures, or we can call it the chemical constituents of plants, or that is also known as chemosystematics, can be used to discover new edible and medicinal plants. And one way is to discover new and new edible and medicinal plants, as well as solving some taxonomical problems also. So because using these chemo systematic markers or chemo markers, you can even identify up to species, you can even differentiate up to species level. So this has been widely employed for species classifications as well. Now, with the rapid development of metabolomics in recent years, there have been quite a lot of metabolite related databases. We have knapsack, we have the PubChem database, which have been created, although they have a wide range of information on these metabolites, but the bottleneck remains in having a wide and complete database. Most of them do not have a complete database, and apart from this, they do not have a user interface or web developed on those web databases. So the objective, keeping this background in our mind, the objective of the work is the development of a web-based interface to identify and classify plants based on metabolite content using AI techniques. So, sir, can I have the second slide, please? Yes. Now here, although I have this is the flow of work that we are looking at, but here I have not given initially prior to the data set and preliminaries. There we will be working on collection of plant materials, extracting, making the plant extracts, and also doing the LCMS, that is the liquid chromatography, mass spectrometric analysis of those plant samples, especially collected from different. We can target one particular genus or one particular family, or we can go to have many different plants species, different genus, different family. Those can be taken. Many of these are already available in many of the databases that I have already talked about. If you can see in the slide there, we have the knapsack core database that I have talked about. Then we have the PubChem database also. So for the limitations where we do not have the complete set of information with respect to the metabolite content, the liquid chromatography, mass spectrometry, or LCMS or GCMS data can be obtained for those species and can be used for preparation of molecular fingerprints from the molecular structure description files of the metabolite compounds. And that will be used as the primary metabolite relation along with the corresponding molecular fingerprints. Now, after that, these data set can be used to construct the metabolites based on a network can be constructed on a data set of based on the metabolites, especially with respect to its chemical structure similarity. I have already in the slide, I have talked about one particular coefficient, that is the Tanimoto coefficient, which has been widely used for this kind of work. Apart from this, here Willetts 2014 also have investigated different structural similarity measures based on these chemoinformatics structural similarity only. So once we have the network construction of metabolites based on the chemical structural similarity, then the clustering of the metabolites can be based on some algorithms which can give us, nodes or clusters, and that clusters can be, grouped into metabolites group, and thereby there are some supervised machine learning models which can be generated based on certain algorithms or models can be generated, which can give, which can construct some boundaries so as to give the category, which can categorize the metabolites based on its classifications, based on the classifications. So apart from this, the end will be the development of a web based interface which will give you an identity, based on similar reports of these molecular signatures, based on these structural signatures, and you can identify plants based on that, or classify the plants based on that, whether it is medicinal, whether it is not medicinal, or you can even identify new or edible medicinal plants from there, apart from solving some taxonomical problems, because this also supplement to whatever the molecular or morphological taxonomical data that we follow in the conventional way. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Nita. So we are done from our side.
Yeah.
So if anyone, so this project we are trying to do in collaboration with Nita Chingtham from NIT. So if anyone in the audience is ready, I mean, can work together, because the AI part will be, we are not expert in AI. We are a phyto, I mean, like we work on biology system. So we want to collaborate with the IT people to make this project a grand success. So we have Nita Chingtham, NIT from NIT side, and if there is someone who can suggest us to make this project more better way in terms of IT field, you can suggest. It's open to all the audience.
Great, sir. I just have a few questions. This is Vishnu Vibha. I'm from IBITF IIT Bhilai. So, sir, you mentioned that this proposed solution is going to benefit the ST communities in your state. So, could you just elaborate that how identifying the taxonomies of these plants would directly benefit them?
Okay, so the best what we have some sort of like a database which we are going to select the plants which are grown only by the people living in the hill, those who are mostly ST in Manipur, and also we are also going to take up some plants which are specific to Mizoram and then Meghalaya. So, and then we have then this will, because if the ones we start working on this, we will be needing the plants in a very large scales, where we will also involve the growing. We have not mentioned in the project because it will be very lengthy, that we will when we submit the proposal, then this is going to be grown by the ST people especially. Okay. And then in that way, the economy can be enhanced.
So basically integrating. Yeah, please, if you want to add anything.
So can I include some more things, sir?
Please.
Yeah, Nita.
Sir, actually here, yes, we are talking at the bioeconomic perspective of the plants that are basically found at this region. Now, what work we are actually looking with respect to the metabolite content here, although we are doing some untargeted metabolite analysis here, but likewise, if we find any therapeutic or nutraceutically important metabolites, we can also simultaneously go for targeted based metabolite analysis, as well as identifying, developing some models which can identify which would be especially since we will be collecting plants from different regions. Now there can be similar plant species which are growing in different regions, but the metabolite content, which is pharmaceutically or nutraceutically important, can be in a very high amount in certain areas. So those areas can be identified using some models here, using models, and then that can be used as in situ conservation sites also, that can also, help in, supplementing the economy of the local populace.
Ma'am, first of all, I would request you to just elaborate on the few terms that you used, like metabolite content in any plant, because many of us in the audience, including me, we are not from the like biology or botany background. So if you could just elaborate a little bit on that.
Yes, yes, very much. Actually, when we talk about metabolites, as like in all living system, we have for our growth, for our survival, for everything. We're based, basically, dependent on our inherent cellular machinery. Now, the cellular machinery comprises of certain compounds which are basically in survival, but then there are some some compounds which are basically not I'm talking vis-a-vis plants. Okay, for example, plants. Talk about metabolites are small compounds which they basically aid in growth, survival of organisms. Now we have primary metabolites. When with respect to primary metabolites, we talk about we talk about nucleic acid, we talk about protein. So basically they are important for our survival. But when we talk about then there are secondary metabolites, for example, are those compounds which directly are not involved in the metabolic process, but nevertheless they are synthesized, and many of them have a very good they are involved in defense related purpose, or they are related with defense related purpose, as well as like when we talk about pheromones, or we talk about other this thing. So these are basically metabolites only. So this is what we're talking about, and all different types of plants, even plants or microorganisms, they have these metabolites which are actually dependent on the environmental conditions. Now when there is any change in the environmental condition, even the metabolite changes, and these metabolite changes can also be specific to some to some plant species. So that is why we have used somewhere, I have said chemosystematics, that's what I have been trying to tell you, and chemoinformatics, using these chemical signatures. So basically these chemical signatures are nothing but the metabolite signatures. Have I answered your
Yeah, thanks a
question?
lot. Thanks a lot for the clarification, ma'am. Uh, Basically, if I understand it correctly, the amount of metabolites in a plant would determine the medical properties and would determine how valuable it is for the human body. So it could be identified and then basically used by people. So I am just wondering, are there any already identified medicinal plants in your region uh, which are currently being sold through any of the platforms online, and the people who are producing them are getting benefits? Because what you are suggesting is to
Yes, yes.
hello.
Yes, there are
Yeah, so
yes, yes, there are already online platforms, as well as there are some platforms where there are a lot of medicinal plants, especially from this northeastern region, which are being sold. Take the example of Lakadong turmeric, which has very high curcumin content. If you see any other turmeric varieties, the Lakadong the Lakadong turmeric, it is curcuma longa only, but the content of curcumin is very high. And curcumin has its many nutraceutical as well as pharmaceutical properties also.
got
Yes,
it, got
we
it, ma'am.
already have. But then
Okay.
these are just some of the plant, these are just some of the plants that are, available. But there are huge, number of plants species which are available in this region. And yes, there are some programs which are already working on the development of few. But what we can come up with this work is, if we can have, you know, some AI based technique which can identify, because I'll tell you one more this thing, one problem lies in the correct identification of plants. I mean, vernacularly, some people use the same name for two different types of plants, but one particular plant can have a metabolite content which is higher. Okay, it can be of the same genus, but not necessary that they have the same metabolite content. Yes, so it is very imperative that we identify the plant correctly, so as to utilize it to the full potential. And apart from that, also this work will also identify the, yes, anything. Hello, hello.
Nita, I can hear you. I can ask them.
Yes, yes, sir. I don't know whether he has understood, understood what I was trying to convey to him.
Yeah, we can talk in details later on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
sir.
can hear you just then.
Hello. Is my voice audible?
No, not the issue. So once, I mean, like, if you are agreeable with this, then we can come up with a project where we can write in details all those things what you have even asked also, and then we can put up. So maybe I think we can have another meeting. Uh, so then, yeah, we are all faculty members. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So you mean to say that I mean, from our internal funding, we get the funding for the compounds, list of compounds, say like, right? That's what you mean, right? And then from your side, okay. So, hmm, yeah. So can it be? Can I say one thing? Hmm. So we have, as I have mentioned in the earlier, that's the reason why I gave you a glimpse of our institute. We have four other centers from apart from the Imphal. We have one in Mizoram, which is totally, we have many faculties, and then our say like if we have among us also we have many ST faculties also, and then the plans which we are going to take. As I mentioned, that we will definitely take from Mizoram, which are specific to Mizoram, and also we are going to take from Meghalaya, which is very specific to Meghalaya. So that is how we are going to benefit, we are going to give enhance their economy. So in this project what we is that we will be needing huge amount of plant materials which we are going to buy from the tribal people. So in that way their economy can be enhanced. This is the one way where we can help the tribal people. That's one of the main reason. Other part, other say like other reagent and other thing that will be done by the some faculties which are really, which belongs to the that caste. So this way I think we can really you can really promote the specific caste. So this way we are also planning. Yeah. Mm. Have a discussion among our faculties, then we'll come up with a project proposal. ठीक है ना? चलो, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Hello, is there anyone to present?
You want to present our presentation? Hello, are we audible?
Yes.
Okay, then let us share our slides.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, are we audible? Hello?
Yeah, you can present now.
Hello, are we audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. The topic that we want to present is smart health solution for cattle. So the presentation will be presented by Anjavam Sarchandra Sharma, that's me. So we are from N. Golmai Shahan. Both of us are from Manipur Technical University. So in introduction we have, so in India, more than 2 crore Indian farmers depend on livestock for livelihood. and India is world largest producer of milk and other derivative. So in India, we face the unavailability of animal livestock insurance. So there is lack of access to capital for livestock purchase and maintenance, and there are lack of access to government schemes for livestock. So the aim of our project will be to develop a fintech application to fulfill the needs of Indian cattle farmers. And the services to be provided by our application are, first one is cattle health insurance service. Then number two, financial support based on health reports. Number three, financial support for livestock
Sir, sorry
management
to
and
interrupt. We could only see the first slide. If you're changing the slide, you need to share the entire screen, I suppose.
okay, and third, the
Yeah, now we can see the third slide, sir.
okay, just hold on again. Okay. So these are the aim. The aim of our project is the services to be provided by the applications are, the first one is cattle health insurance services. Number two is financial support based on health reports, financial support for livestock management and nutrition, and the last one is access to various government schemes. So these are the aims of our project. So thank you. That's all.
Any question, sir?
Hello.
So thank you. That's all.
Yes, sir. The problem I think that you proposed is a very relevant problem, but what is actually the solution, like the technological intervention that you're proposing? Could you please
Okay.
elaborate more on that?
Okay, the solution we have not put it up in these slides, but the main solution that we are going to employ is we are going to use IoT technology in order to take the health condition of the cattle, and then we are going to make apps so that it will be connected with all the departments such as health department, financial department, and with the help of IoT devices, the health of the cattle will be, let's say, will take up the health of the cattle, and the report will be sent to healthcare services. And from the healthcare services, we are going to generate the cost for medications and all. And that particular cost for medication will be sent to the financial department. And from the financial department, the farmer will get the benefits of the financial, let's say, support.
Government.
Then apart from financial support for health, even the app will allow financial support for buying livestock and then buying foods for the cattle. That's all.
Sure, sir. We invite you to submit the proposal, but under each head, you need to ensure that you mention the technological intervention required and you need to think through the entire solution. So, as you mentioned, that multiple government departments would be linked and access to all the government schemes would be provided. So, what kind of platform would be required? What kind of solution would be there? How would you join these people who have these cattle to the platform? And so everything should be thought through, and then based on the requirement of the proposal, there are multiple questions that would be required to be answered. So I think if you
Yes,
could
sir. Yes.
answer all of them before 10th and could also share it with us, we would be able to provide you the feedback, and then before
Okay.
10th you need to officially submit it. So it's
Okay.
a relevant problem. Just ensure that a similar solution is not available currently, and which could be improved upon. So if there's no solution as of now for the insurance of the cattle, I think it's a huge problem for the entire India, I suppose. But
Yes.
you need to think the solution through, sir. Every step of what you're proposing needs to have the backing of a technology-based solution and some market research based on which you're proposing it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
So
Thanks a lot.
we all, yes, sir. This is just a very small presentation just to show the aim of our project. But the underlying technological, the techniques that we are going to employ is already discussed with us.
Sure, sir. Also try to have a discussion with the insurance companies, because somewhere down the line you need to ensure the availability of the funds as well. So how
Yes,
are you
yes.
going to gather that? Is there any government support for these people? How are you going
Yeah.
to basically link the health of the cattle to the government schemes that are available? So that's a great problem statement that you've identified. Now the solution needs to be thought through, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. Last date is actually 10th of September.
Can I end my?
Hello?
10th of September.
Yes, yes, yes. 10 of
Yes, sir.
September. Yes,
So
we have
just
noted
try
that.
to submit a draft proposal to us before 10th so that we could provide the feedback and request you to submit along with incorporating the feedback as an official submission to the final evaluation committee, which would be an external committee and which would involve people from DST. The director of IIT Bhilai would also be there, and some nominated people from the industry and government would be there. So we are trying to
Yes.
ensure that qualified and well written proposals are finally submitted.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Is there anybody to present? No, I think not.
Okay. So, Nita, are you present? Okay, then we are closing this online part. So, okay, so he will join. Okay. Actually, one is there who is unable to join. So,
Try, we can accept.
okay, we can accept to the any time up to 4 p.m. it will be there. Huh? Okay, now I think we can. Faculty madam will be present. So many will be present. Okay. So he will be present. So another two will be from our faculty side. So student those who want to share your idea, actually the objective is not to just tuning or get a feedback so that your proposal will be strong, better way. So if you want to share your proposal, please be ready. After two, then you can come one by one. Okay. And our project director sir is coming on the way. So if you want to, Professor Santosh Biswas, who is a project director for this all this scheme. So I think CEO. Okay. So then I think if you want to meet and talk to them, see, he will be here up to 5 p.m. And then 6 p.m. we have a meeting with the NIT Mizoram, all the faculty and student. Okay. Thank you.
Internet, no need.
Okay.
Hello. So, so here just we want to present one project with the Mrs. Banlal Monsang Kyangte under the principal investigator of Banlal Munsangi Kyangte. I am the co-investigator. I am the presenting this project roughly. It is just draft copy. We didn't prepare the slide. So try to present from here just the problems and what are the solution we are going to provide. Actually, the background of the problems is like that. This is title of the project is Task Matching and Job Recommendation System for MZU Unorganized Worker using the ensemble technologies. So the background of the project is like that. Say almost 40%, more than 40%, more than 60% of our national GDP basically depend on the unorganized sector. The unorganized sector is like that. The sector where the pupils are no permanent job, they just depend on some temporary job or the daily works. So for them, providing the organized job or employment is difficult, it's not possible at all. So in that case, this is a national issue, but in the same times, this is also issue of the Mizoram also. We have many pupils working in the unorganized sector. So unorganized sector pupils, including like that daily wage worker or the worker of the plumbing sector, electricians, and then the worker housemates, so or the farm workers. So there is a many sectors actually we are not identifying properly here. So what the government try to do, what are the unorganized sector pupils are there, they are trying to do, but no proper solution, means job or employability for them is not possible. They are trying to do, but they cannot provide them the proper job for them. So in that case, for the unorganized worker, so we are trying to give a digital or a application-based solution for that. This is our project. So I just trying to the problem definitions. This is actually background of the project. So what is our problem statement? Problem statement is actually providing the legal service for the unorganized worker is a serious problem in Mizoram along with the whole nation. Several times government has taken initiative to identify the unorganized worker by conducting survey, organizing legal awareness program for the identified group, and also assisting the worker to avail the benefits under the different social welfare legislations and administrative programs, scheme, etc. However, the workers of unorganized sector faces numerous challenges, including searching their daily works, preferable works under the skill matches, reasonable and timely payment service, etc. So to address the challenges, we have a project. Project is that we are trying to leverage the ensembling the recent or edge-cutting technology like blockchain and machine learning technology in the platform of the crowdsourcing platform. So thing is that, so if we just do this one, then we actually two group of people will benefit. One group of problem will be there under the unorganized sector. The persons who are trying to search the work, maybe not the permanent, say 1 day, 2 days daily works they are searching, they can get their job. And in the other side, the pupils who are the searching the labor or the that means daily wages worker who can give the service to them, that kind of person. So we are trying to meet basically these two pupils, two group of people under the Mizo society. So our first part of the project actually we will try to assign the the job requester or task requester as well as the task performer. In between the two group of the persons, we are trying to communicate using the blockchain technology, and it is also a crowdsourcing platform. And second part of our project is that actually which works for the which job seeker will be the most recommended and how much is the price, and these things will be there. This is under the recommendation systems we are trying to include in these systems. So this is actually tax recommendation systems, basically using the machine learning we are going to do. And third thing is that we are trying to, in these systems, we are trying to develop a basic model, so enabling the No, so in the third process, sorry, in the third part of our projects, we are trying to include the so digital payment systems to make the trust and making the trust in between the trust and say timely payment system in between the associative parties. And finally, we are trying to develop the actually a advanced communication system in between the task seeker and worker seeker under the unorganized sector, enabling the emerging technology. Actually, this is our target and solutions. So we have some drafted some other things also. We will be submitting soon the proposal. If you can give some suggestion in this regard, it will be very helpful for us.
Yes, sir. I think we discussed this yesterday
Yes.
as well, and it's a very relevant problem faced in any part of India, that the unorganized sector are not yet available on a platform from where people could directly request their assistance. So there are e-shram portal and skill development agencies like skill development department who manages the unorganized sector, and I think the involvement of the skill development department of your city or probably your state going forward in this project would be very beneficial.
Actually, our initial target is like that. We just try to manage two group of people. They actually, there will be many persons are available who can give the job or searching the service. Say, I am a person as a service holder. Although a service holder, I can give small service to the daily wages worker also. So I want a plumber. I want say the persons who can clean my houses, cutting the jungles, or some other works, which is maybe for a day, 1 or 2, maybe 1 hour, or emergency service. I don't know the person, a group of persons are available in the village. I know all the people I don't know. So in this platform, if I search that persons, so already the persons who are the worker, they must be under the register, under the systems. So I am searching which is the best person or who is the suitable person at that, when I am searching at, very soon I should get them. So this is the actual technology. It's more or less similar to the Ola and Uber technology. But the purpose for the two group of people to communicate each other.
Correct,
So
sir.
this is a Android-based application we are going to develop for these systems.
So I'm actually recommending that the registration, the initial,
Yeah.
you mentioned that the registration would be happening on your portal.
Yeah.
So these registrations are already done by the skill development department, where people go to register as an unorganized worker. So they have a list of those people available in
Yes,
the
yes.
city. So I think you could leverage the information from that department, and going forward, you could build an application where people from the city could be directly connected to these people. The rates could also be defined by the government, that
Yes.
for a particular service, a defined rate should be there, so that both the parties are informed about it, and no additional charge is levied on any of them. So
Actually, for the initial and pilot project, we are planning just the registered pupil, a target of the Tanshil village. See, this is the village, Tanshil village, this pupil village, we'll try to test first. Then that one with the state government and their rules and regulation, based on that, we try to set up later. So if we do not take the government intervention, this is also not big deal. So without government intervention also, as a private farms also, it's possible to implement. And if it is implemented, the pupils who are the job seeker and job provider, both will be benefited. And in the meantime, the service provider who is giving the service, obviously they can get the charge from the systems. So 3 different kind of target people will get benefit in these systems.
absolutely.
We have in Mizoram building and other construction workers welfare board is there who are maintaining the records of those who are unorganized workers, seekers. So these they have the registration and list of people, like daily workers and all. They have the association. So we can integrate with them.
Absolutely, sir. Those lists would be available online. I think in integrating the already accessible list or accessible data would be much beneficial for your project, because you don't need to identify individuals and go to them and ask for registration. So it's
Yes.
it's actually a value add to your project.
Okay.
And just one thing, sir. So for the initial implementation, what is the proposed budget? Because you are
So
trying to implement it
actually,
at a very small scale for just one part of the city, I suppose.
Yeah, initially it cannot be too much.
Mhm.
Planning to do in Aizawl city only,
Mhm.
the main city. But that is
so
going large.
actually, this is a draft budget. So nearly we will be planning to nearly 50 lakhs we will going to be
Okay.
apply. So it's not properly given
And
here.
basically, what you're suggesting is a recommendation system, and I think we discussed this
First is
yesterday as well.
tax matching and
Hmm.
recommendations. Tax matching basically with the secure tax matching. This is a very high technology under the crowdsourcing platform. And tax matching, this is based on the machine learning. This is also a little bit high technology. These are the two high technology we are going to involve in the systems.
So that would be dependent on the availability of the data from the customers, the rating
Yes.
that they provide.
Yes.
And for that, you need to build the initial platform to gather that rating data.
Yes.
Correct. So your initial proposal, I suppose, if it's for 50 lakh, then what's the duration of your project, sir?
Actually, we are trying to provide for this one for the 2 years.
Hmm.
So here actually given little bit more. We will just reduce that budget. So actually similar to the previous one, 92 lakhs it is written, but we will reduce around 50 lakhs. We will make it.
So if it's for 2 years, I think, and if the budget is on a higher side, if it's just the implementation of a small scale prototype where you could basically showcase the value of this platform to the
Yeah.
government and then link up with the government, then the budget should be on the lower side. If you project or if you suggest that the intervention of the government would also be made on a later date and the recommendation would be there, a recommendation system would also be implemented, then the proposed budget could be on the higher side. But
Actually, sir, here two things. One is that tax recommendation systems by machine learning. This is not an easy job, and lot of data required for that. So this is really a research work also. Similarly, tax matching or searching in the searchable encryptions, and there is many technologies are available for particular that cases. So this is a very research, high related research works also. So simply if we are telling that tax matching like a simple matching, it is not like that we will not use here. So research oriented work, that's why a little bit research means we just want to take little bit more fund, maybe nearly 50 lakhs with that we can manage. So initial we will change the plan also, maybe 1 year, after that it is possible to extend, then 2 years.
sure, sir. I would just suggest that you try to incorporate the available data online.
Okay.
If it's, you mentioned that some of the data for the unorganized sector is also already available. So if you could just have a word with the departments, they could also provide you a list of people who are active, on the basis of which you could also set up the initial recommendation that these are some of the people who have been recently working in these set tasks. And going forward, based on the ratings from the people, the recommendation could be improved and
Yeah, initially, but those data, there is no ratings and all for recommendation. It will be
but still, let's say they have a list of 100 people. 50 people are actively working on a daily basis, or let's say every week they have some work to do. So they could be rated on a higher scale initially. And then going forward, based on the recommendations of the people, a better recommendation could be provided, a better rating could be provided.
Okay, okay, we'll see that.
Okay, sir.
Great,
We'll
sir.
try to. Thank you, sir.
But thank you for identifying this very relevant problem statement, sir. We invite you to submit this one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so if anyone from the student side, they can present now. Please come. Even you can speak only, no need to present. You can speak only, just what is your idea?
Hello everyone. Sir, I want to propose a platform application to manage like finances for the student. The thing is that like managing finance is a major problem for a student. It is observed by me and all of my friends, especially when the UPI platform came in. Thing is that earlier we used to no one used to use the UPI or any digital transaction. Everything we used to do through like cashes. Suppose if I have 1,000 rupees in my wallet, I know that I'm gonna spend that 1,000 rupees over the month of 2 or 3 months. And if that 1,000 rupees has it's empty, then I know that I have only spent 1,000 rupees. The next time if I have to spend some amount, I have to go to ATM and take out the amount. But with the UPI, the thing is that if I have like 2 to 3,000 in my account, I am just spending like anything because I don't know no one has the control. And there is a recent study that suggests that people who are using mobile platform tend to spend more money. This was done around all India and all across other country. So there are also other the thing is that this is particularly true for students who have limited budget. If I have budget of 2,500, I cannot go and spend 2,000 on first 10 days. So I need something that provides me a proper budget. But the problem is that I might be using multiple UPI platform like Google Pay, Phone Pay, and all these platform. If I go to transaction history, they just show the transaction history for that platform. There is no such application that combines all the transaction history from Google Pay or Phone Pay or Paytm and gives me analytics, proper analytics that this is the amount that I have spent for that particular month. Also, there is another problem is that peer-to-peer lending. Suppose if my friend wants 1,000 rupees, I give him. If I went to canteen to buy some stuff, I pay for him. So there is no way to maintain that. So what we usually do, friend usually have notes app. We just tell suppose Aditya is my friend. I'll just put his name and I'll just pay. I'll just put 100 rupees. I'll just put the date that this is the date he have eaten puri in canteen or something like that. But I've seen this problem across also all of my friends usually have to do. So this is another problem. There is no such application right now in the market. Also, there is another thing like pay later financing. But it basically means if I need suppose some amount for something, usually what happens that I have to go to my friend and ask for money. So I want something in a platform that can finance me particularly small amount, not big amount, suppose 5,000, 10,000. That is specific to only students. If I am verified student, I can get that particular amount. So these are some of the problems that I properly analyze. So I want to the objective is to offer a easy use application that functions as a personal assistant, providing intelligent budget management. It's clustering all the data from all the UPI applications, not from any one application or other application. Also manage data for peer-to-peer lending. Suppose if my friend takes a certain amount, I want to manage that particularly. Also to provide pay later services small loans or something without any interest rate or something. Also I want to provide proper analytics view. Analytics view such as the amount that I have spent in certain services or certain shop, to combine all of them services into a one mobile or web application. So the application will not handle any direct transaction. So you can say that it is kind of risk free because we are not handling any direct transaction through Paytm or UPI transaction. So the target customer would be students, college students, recent graduates, or scholars. And the application would require you to sign in and provide banking access or UPI access because we want to take all the transaction data from there only. So from my research, there are some APIs like Open Banking API. If you can integrate those API, it can give you all the transaction history. Suppose if I have Axis Bank account, if I integrate the Open Banking API for the Axis Bank, it can give me all the data. This is particularly for India. I'm not sure if it is available in other countries. After I think 2017, these services was made. All the banks have all the APIs for that. So the application would come in front end and back end. So if I talk about front end, we would need a web application or mobile app. The hybrid mobile app can be built using React Native or Flutter or any other stuff. And the backend can be done using Django or Node.js, all the stuff. So I would request you to recommend some stuff.
No, it's a great solution if there are no other solution available online right now.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so have you researched it thoroughly?
Yes, sir. I have researched it. There are no like solution. There is a one app that is called Dukan that helps you to like manage proper P2P lending. Just like suppose.
That's a totally different
Yeah,
thing.
that's totally different.
But the problem that you're proposing is not that a great
Yeah.
of a problem, because you could keep your money in your wallet and then spend like once that money is spent, you're already informed that you've already utilized 2,000 rupees, then you can again put that in the wallet. So it's the problem that you're proposing does not it might be personal. It's not something that every student is struggling with. So, but still, what you're proposing, that integration of all the UPI payments from multiple platforms, primarily you should be using Google Pay, or I should be using Paytm oftenly. But still, if there are no solutions available online which integrates all the payment and give you a payment history of your entire spend on multiple platforms, that's actually a good solution.
Sir, also like I want to propose like pay later services, because there are some services Paytm provides that provide small loans to students. But the problem is that if you want to like use those loans, they have like really high interest rate, or you need some good credits for that. So like suppose there are some cases when I want to pay my semester fees. So like I want to propose something like that. The application can also provide pay later services to verified students only for certain periods, so that they don't need to lend the money from their friends or any other relatives.
So I think Paytm and all the UPI these platforms, based on the payments that you make on regular basis, they try to gauge your credit history.
Yes, sir.
So on the basis of it, they will only recommend that these are the loans that are available at your disposal without any documentation, or just you click a button and get the loan. So it depends on how much you spend, and that's the only way you would be able to identify. If you're proposing a solution simply for the students, then you also need to identify the person who would be lending them, na? So how are you going to get those funds? Government is not going to give you the funds to lend the students, and then what if they do not pay back?
Yes, sir. That is also a problem. So from my analysis, what I thought is that I would connect students to students. The students, those who have money, they want to like, if suppose if the application has a wallet, it's kind of like.
Actually, this solution was this problem and solution was came up in the discussion yesterday as well by some other student. What I would suggest is you invest 10,000 rupees on your own, give it to 10 people, 1,000 rupees each, and try to collect it back along with interest. If they pay you back, this is a very good problem and a solution. If they do not pay you back without any credit history, without any like affect to their credit history, so how are you going to, you're trying to play a bank here. Instead of that, the integration of all these UPI payment platforms, that's actually a good idea, if only if such a solution is not available online. So thoroughly research that. If it's not available, you could submit this proposal as a fellowship.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So I think you can go, you can present.
Okay, so good afternoon all. Today the proposal of The topic is IoT-based soil health monitoring and precision agriculture through AI in Mizoram. So I'll skip the introduction and all the unrelated stuff. So here we're planning to build a soil health monitoring system and precision agriculture using IoT and AI, which uses machine learning. And this is location specific, and it will be used in Mizoram itself. So in the objective, the first one is to evaluate the effectiveness and impact of IoT technology in improving soil health monitoring and management practices in hilly areas. This is also location specific, all of them are, and it is mainly on hilly areas. So the place of implementation will be inside Mizoram. And the next one is to design an IoT-based precision agriculture system for crop yield in Mizoram. And the next one is to develop and test IoT and machine learning-based systems for crop-specific recommendation. So here I have kept 3 methodologies for implementing all the 3 objectives. So here, the problem is that for soil testing plays an important part in agriculture and its allied sectors like horticulture and irrigation. So within Mizoram, the agriculture department has only the agriculture department has a soil testing lab. So there are only 3 soil testing labs in Aizawl, Lunglei, and Siaha. So it is very difficult to get soil testing. So the farmers might have to have soil health cards, and because of the limited funds from the government, the state government, it is very difficult to have soil testings in usual timing. So it is difficult for farmers to get the results of their soil tests and to implement what they are to plant in their fields. So here, the first one is the limited access to timely soil data. That is the one that I've already mentioned. And ineffective soil management. So in inefficient soil management, due to the use of conventional soil management practices, it is difficult for the farmers to get what the previous farmers and other farmers are doing and what benefits them. And the next one is ineffective resource utilization. So in some parts of Mizoram, there is scarcity of water and other resources. So in this part, using IoT and AI-based systems, AI-based technology, we can reduce this resource utilization. We can use effectively the resource utilization, and we can distribute it amongst the resources. And the crop yield variabilities in here, the crop yield due to the topology in Mizoram, it is mostly hilly areas, and most of the farmers use Zoom cultivation. So here, the crops, due to the crop yield of different varieties of crops, it is difficult for farmers to keep track of which crops are giving better yield. And lack of guidance, here, because of the lack of data itself, the farmers are not accustomed to knowing which crops are beneficial for them and which crops yield better yield. And suboptimal crop selection, this is mostly similar to the previous one. The farmers don't have an idea of which crops are beneficial for them and which crops they need to improve. So here, in the first method, we are trying to plan a data collection. This will be used using IoT sensors. The sensors are mainly moisture level sensors, pH sensors, temperature sensors for gaining the data. So we will also collect historic data from the previous landowners and from farmers all around. Then after this one, we'll build some type of temporary or a long-term IoT infrastructure so that it could have better internet connectivity in that place. And the next one, we'll do analysis on the data, and we'll see what impacts the IoT technology will have on that area. Maybe the impacts would be better or it would be worse than the previous one. So from that data, we can gather information of what plans and actions we are supposed to do. So we'll collect feedback from the farmers on the impacts and what are their previous and current production status. Then we will produce a report and recommendation to the farmers through applications. And the second one, we're planning to design an IoT-based precision agriculture system for crop yield. This is also within Mizoram. So we'll be selecting a particular type of crop which is highly demanded in the market or by local selection. So here we would integrate also. So here we'll integrate the same sensors as we have integrated before. We'll use soil weather and crop health monitoring systems for the sensors. Then the sensors would be placed all around the field, not in one place. So here in the data fusion, we fuse all the data we collected from maybe terraces, maybe in zoom areas, and maybe in slopes like that, so that the data would be a little bit of a variety. So here we'll collect the data and we'll fuse them so that we'll get a more accurate data. So in the next one, we would use decision support systems using IoT so that we could get features for irrigation, fertilization, and pest control. So the next one, we would use this to, I've mentioned, maybe we would create an APK or an Android application so that we would remotely monitor what is happening in the field so that we would use less human interaction. And the next part, we would do testing and optimization of the current system. Then after this, we are planning to do documentation of further reference. And the last objective, here we are planning to incorporate machine learning, that is AI, into our IoT. So the data and information we have already collected in the previous sections, these would be put into use, and using machine learning, we would help the farmers to benefit on the data already collected and which adjustments should be made so that they could gain more yield in their production. So these data could help in understanding the growth patterns and the diseases that would be related to these crops. So the novelty of the project here, this is, as I've mentioned, it is location specific. So because it is location specific, in most of the research papers we have analyzed, there are less hilly areas. So here in Mizoram, the location is a little bit different and the temperature is a little bit different. So this is the novelty part. And we would incorporate not only IoT, but also AI and machine learning to this one. So this is a data-driven process. So the farmers would benefit on the data collected not only by them, but also by the system. So it is quite adaptable to climate change also. So the benefits of the project would be the farmers would have improved crop yield due to the immense knowledge they would gain by not only them, they could gain the data of the other farmers who are producing more yield. And in places of low irrigation or water potential, these data would be important for the farmers. So they would use their resource effectively and efficiently so that they would not reduce the sustainability of the environment. So the rural development, this is also an important point, such that the farmers in rural areas would have good development as compared to other urban areas. So here, the challenges of implementing the project is that initial investment, there is cost-related issues as IoT sensors and all of these equipment are a little bit high in cost, and the data security and privacy, because we are collecting from different farmers and the information is sensitive for agriculture, the security and privacy is a little bit lagging. And data connection in fields, data connection is very low. So we would have to use maybe we would have to give some solutions, maybe some internet connectivity using satellites or Wi-Fi or something which could be done by government intervention, I think. So skill gap, here the skill gap is that farmers would not be aware of IoT and machine learning. So we should have proper awareness we should give proper awareness to farmers in using and implementing these technologies. So interoperability, so there are different protocols in using IoT and different devices connected to IoT. So for their connection and interoperability, this is a little bit of a task. So we are lagging a little bit in interoperability. So regulations and policies in different parts of the region, they have different rules and policies. So this project should mainly incorporate and should satisfy all the policies of these areas. Environmental concern, this also plays an important role. So in the first objective, we have mentioned the impact of IoT. So here, if the impact is not that satisfactory, we can leave or we can do some upgradation to the system. So that is all about the project.
No, very good. Thank you for the nice presentation. Just can you go to the first slide? So no, one before that. Okay. So you are involving somebody from the agriculture side?
No, sir. Previously, I was working in agriculture department, so I'm
okay. You have knowledge. Okay,
yes, yes.
No problem. Now, actually, everything is very fine to our satisfaction. Only thing is that our technology hub also focuses primarily on financial technologies. Okay, so like you were saying that IoT-based health monitoring and precision agriculture through AI in Mizoram. We have to put some financial angle to that. What do I mean by financial angle means, like for example, you are saying that a farmer that this is a suggestion of a crop. Okay, so ultimately it all comes to money. So if I select this crop, this will be my yield. So ultimately how much more income I will get. So do you get my point?
Yes, yes.
So the whole proposal is fine, but you have to give a wrapper of financial angle. Right? You can say that a platform for cost benefit analysis suggestions to farmers of Mizoram. And after that you can say soil testing, precision agriculture through AI. So all the proposals have a wrapper of the financial technology. So you can, again we'll sit down after this one-to-one. So the proposal topic is something like a cost benefit analysis platform for farmers of Mizoram. Quote, IoT based soil monitoring, precision agriculture and ... Okay, so after that, in the end, we are actually have to give the first objective is that we will develop a mobile app as an application. So in the application, all this data you will get in your application, and then you have to develop maybe in the Mizo language or the local language. Now, when the farmer chooses that, you give a suggestion that I want to grow. You are suggested to grow this crop. Here the moisture is this. You need this type of fertilizers. So where the fertilizers are available, what is the cost? So that the farmer will be interested that he can really see and predict that if I take this is the end goal, I am get so much monetary benefit. So this wrapper you have to put to the proposal. Other than everything is fine.
Thank you, sir.
Right? So that just thing is that you can go to the objectives. I'll just give one or two example. After next. Right. So you are saying data collection, data analysis, assess impact. So assess impact is basically soil quality, cost, like they're saying cost effectiveness. So cost effectiveness means if I put so much fertilizers, if you're putting so much devices, you are suggesting that I should grow this crop and this time to this time. So it will also involve labor cost, it will involve fertilizers, it will involve pesticide. Then if you say that, okay, if you take this suggestion of the app, so this is the monetary benefit you are going to get. And also you can give suggestions that the fertilizers are available here, what is the cost and all those things. So that wrapper has to be built, otherwise it is fine. And you have to also discuss about the budget, that we will do it after. Yes. Otherwise a good proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you feel, you can also take help as consultants of some of the agriculture university people. So that honorarium can be paid, that you also can put in your budget. But as you have already worked in agriculture, so no, you don't have any problem. And also one thing, please include budget for everybody. Please include budget for training. Like for example, you develop 1 or 2 days, you organize workshop here. You put additional budget and you say that we have developed this app and this is, because popularity is also very important. So every project you should have at least 5-6 lakhs budget extra for organizing regular workshops. Because that is very important. Say half of the 10% of the product you have developed. Please call the people here, take feedback, and do and conduct regular workshop.
Yes, sir, I think involving anyone from the agriculture department would actually improve the overall project that you're proposing. Yes. And along with that, I think IoT sensors, you were mentioning that it would be difficult for you to set up the Wi-Fi technology and basically the integration of IoT devices and the mobile devices on which the information would be relayed. Yes. So
those things we can help. Technology help can be there. We have a lot of local sensors available that just communicate over LTE and some technologies are there. Those technical parts we can solve. So everybody will just discuss about the budget after the presentation, that how much we should put and all this.
Thank you, sir.
anyone join?
Okay, while we are having a project demonstration, I just want to take a few moments to welcome Professor Santos Biswas. He is the project director and the CEO of Innovation and Technology Foundation, IIT Bhilai. I want to welcome you, sir, in the states of Mizoram. Actually, we want to give him a moment and then some short speech. But before that, I personally know him. He might not know me. While he was working in IIT Guwahati, I was one of the MTech students there. So when I finally see his face, then it's really nice to see him again after so many years that he have been here as the CEO of IIT Bhilai now. And then, so I welcome you, sir. And I will request Professor Ajoy sir to give the memento, and then I welcome him to the stage for his speech.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for organizing this event, and it is a Teachers' Day. So very auspicious day for all of us, because I mean every work starts in the teacher and a student relation. So actually I have, my whole childhood was in the Northeast. I am born and brought up in Jorhat, and I have been to the state several times with my father. So again, I'm very happy to be here again. So let me just brief you what we are all working about. I think Vishnu might have already told you. So Technology Innovation Hub, there are 25 Technology Innovation Hubs in the country, and we are mainly focusing on this financial technologies. And last performance, I mean last there was a review meeting in Delhi. So we had worked on development of several technologies which are for the social impact. So we had developed an ATM for the Divyang, visually Divyang people, where we are working on some agriculture technologies which can increase the income of the farmers in the Chhattisgarh. So based on that, DST has given us a mandate that you please work on this technology in the areas where there is a ST community is in the higher side, and special call for proposals and technologies to be developed for the remote areas. Like already last proposal was that where we can deploy technology where the internet is very sparse. Maybe, I mean, we have a lot of mobile phones, smartphones, 5G internet is there, but there are a lot of regions in the country where these things are not very prevalent. But still we have to work, because we have to work for the upliftment across our country. So based on this philosophy, we have been given the mandate of working with the areas where the ST community is higher, and the remote part where similar technologies as in the very, so-called the urban parts of the country, similar technologies has to be also evolved for these areas. And better is that if a person may be sitting in Delhi wants to develop a technology for this area, that is not very practical. So our goal is that we have to involve people here, we have to make startups from the people here, and they will develop the technologies, deploy it here, we will be only there for the guidance. So apart from all the project proposals that everybody is presenting, we are going to fund, we will also involve the local students here, and we will ask them and we will handhold them to open our startup. So all the PIs of the project, they will ultimately come out with a small startup, and they will also involve the students and other faculty members to be entrepreneurs. They will be running their own small company here, who will be implementing the project. So implementing a startup gives a feeling that they are owning their company, doing something for their own land, as well as they are also earning the profit, because in a normal government project, you do the work, it's deployed, it's done. But when you will be operating a startup mode, even a 10 rupees profit is a profit to the people who are owning the company, and that starts the entrepreneurship. So what we will do is that after the projects are awarded, we will handhold you and we will ask that please open a small startup here, and I think Ajoy can help from the university side to get the clearance, and all the paperwork etc. will be done. So like this project on precision agriculture, there will be a small startup company which will, all the staffs and whoever will be recruited will be a member of the startup company as well as in the board of the startup company. So everybody will feel that it is their company and they are working for the people. So that is how the modalities will go. And about writing the project proposal, because I think workshops are going on, people are telling about the technologies, but our main goal is that we should get some 7-8 very good proposals from this meeting. So I have gone through several proposals before coming over here. I am very happy that the proposals are taking really good shape, almost 95% done. Maybe some budget reworking is to be done, and we will be able to directly present it to the panel and get it done. So what we will do is that, like for example, 2 or 3 project proposals were present, we will listen more proposals, and then we will sit one-to-one with each team member, guide them that what changes has to be done, budget has to be fixed, and before we leave, I think the project proposals will be final. So end goal is that we will show to the government of India that even from very remote places, such nice project proposals have come, evaluated by the expert committee, and we are dispersing the money. And nowadays, we are very thankful to our the DST and the honorable vision of the Prime Minister that things should not be slow, things should move very fast. So the timeline is by around 15th the project presentation will be there, by around the end of the month funds will be dispersed. So we are working in a super fast mode. We are expecting that by November you will get the money by October, by November or December we will have the startups and things will start rolling. So this is what is the key goal. So again I thank Ajoy and the entire team for organizing the event here and getting so many good proposals. I am very happy to see that so many nice proposals we have got from here, which are almost ready. Within 1 or 2 iterations they have come up to a level. Our expectation was that we may take 3 or 4 rounds, but I forgot the name of many of the PIs, but I think maybe there, but we are actually gone to a very nice level. So thanks to all, and especially Dr. Ajoy that he has organized this. So I expect around 5 or 6 very nice project proposals to be funded in the coming month. So thank you very much. So one more thing is there, people who are doing MTech, BTech, MTech and PhD, we have large number of fellowships. So any BTech student has because proposals are anyway, it's a 50 lakhs, 60 lakh, high budget proposals. But if some BTech student has an idea, with a small financial angle, just write 2-page proposal, we are going to give 7,500 rupees stipend per month. So it runs for 6 months and the 6 months. So it's an open to everybody. Please submit proposals. We have already given some 50-60 proposals, around 200 we want to give more. For MTech, in the final year, we give 15,000 rupees per month for the MTech project. Okay, so their supervisor can guide them to write it, and they are very high speed. So we submit in 7 days it gets approved, or asked to be revision. And for the PhDs, if there are PhD students who are not getting regular stipend, so what we can do is that we can give some 40,000 rupees as this PhD stipend. But for the PhD, the catch is that they should not take both the grant. But for BTechs, I think there is no grant, so people are encouraged to write proposals and they can take fellowships from us. And there are only 2-page proposals are there. So you just think of an idea, just implement something, make a literature survey. For the BTech, it's a very, very simple way to go ahead.
So that means the PhD scholar, those who are not getting
Yes,
any
NSC, they are highly encouraged to write.
so they can also apply for the student fellowship.
Yes, because they are highly encouraged that PhD students who are not getting stipend immediately write the whatever PhD they are doing, talk to the supervisor, talk to us. We'll just add a small financial technology angle, maybe half a chapter, that will help you to do and take the fellowship, because they will also have 4 years fellowship they will have. In this case, this project proposal actually takes 6 months. I mean, this is one cohort, next cohort may be in March. But this is fully open. I mean, every 10 days, 15 days we do this PhD thing and we get them awarded. So please, I mean, and it is not only restricted to computer science, IT. If somebody wants, even in humanities,
Agriculture also they
agriculture, medical, slight financial technology, and we'll guide them, like as we are guiding the previous proposal how to add. Similarly, we'll do it and we'll get it approved. It's our duty to get the proposal through. You have to just put time and effort, and anyway you are doing it very well, so they will also get 4 years. Right.
we have also encouraged our students. I think they are also preparing. They are also in.
So good afternoon everyone. Today I am going to talk about the efficient traffic control and to make the vehicle owner more accurate, such as identification pose significant challenges in today's global landscape. So the prevalence of traffic rule violations, especially those related to speeding, often hinders the enforcement of regulations. The fast-paced nature of modern roads makes it arduous for traffic personnel to capture the moving vehicles' details on the move. And moreover, the several factors such as high vehicle speeds and non-standardized license plates, and also the diverse language on license plates and varying lighting conditions collectively, it contributes to the complexity of the recognition process. Like existing systems grapple with these limitations. So in this proposal, we delve into the various approaches to automatic number plate recognition system, considering key parameters such as image size, recognition success rate, and the processing time. And we explore the innovation solutions to address the challenges associated with this vehicle identification and the traffic rule enforcement. So to underscore the significance of this proposal, let us consider the staggering mathematical reality. India boasts over 35 crores of registered vehicles. Imagining all the vehicles on the road simultaneously is a daunting prospect. So the task of controlling and regulating them becomes seemingly insurmountable. Even the most vigilant traffic police officers cannot feasibly look at and monitor each vehicle at the time. So recognizing this challenge, the government already has introduced the solution, a scheme allowing the vehicles with specific number plates to operate on designated days. For instance, let's take the case of Mizoram, a North Indian state of India, which has already implemented a unique traffic rule. Mizoram allows vehicles with the even numbered license plates to operate on certain days of the week, and also some days are fixed for odd numbered license plates are permitted on alternate days. So however, enforcing these rules across all the road to handle all these things for a single police officer on duty is virtually kind of impossible. So this is where our innovative projects come into play. So our proposal aims to develop a state-of-the-art of ANPR system capable of detecting and verifying whether a vehicle's number plate is authorized to be on the road on that day or not. So as per the regional traffic rules like those in the Mizoram, by automating this in the crucial task, law enforcement agencies can be efficiently enforced traffic regulations and take appropriate actions, contributing to safer and more organized roadways. Okay, thank you.
So just a very nice thing. So just wait, actually. See, this is the BTech, you are a BTech student. So actually there are two things. He can write it as a fellowship proposal. And you can see it's a mainly traffic rule violation. So it doesn't have a financial part. Now I can say how it can be easily related to a financial part. Automatically add the concept of fine. Okay, so if you violate all these rules, automatically a slip will be generated and sent into your mobile. And unless you pay with Paytm or something, your vehicle number will be logged. So it actually adds a fintech to your problem.
We can also do one thing like whatever the driving license, whatever number plate is associated with the driving license, we can connect with the bank account.
Correct.
Like, we can directly cut the fine, whatever it
Fine,
is.
right. So that is what. So like for all, because our main idea is to go for financial technology. So it's very simple that you just add a fintech angle to it.
Yeah.
You can say automatic traffic management guidance system, including loan connection, using fine collections and all those things. And if you say that I want to just develop the idea and not implement anything, so you can work on, develop a prototype. Okay, then in that case it's a 6 months BTech project, and we fund actually 7,500 per month, and you need to just write 2 pages on this one.
Okay, sir.
So these are actually called BTech fellowship projects. And if some of the faculty member really wants to implement it, then it will become a bigger thing. So in that case, you have to include project staffs and all those things, and full implementation has to be there. But for fellowship, it is an idea, and make a small prototype, maybe you implement it,
No,
and then
actually we some like start of the project is already done, but if
and also sometimes multiple people may also join and make a project. In that case, maybe 3 people want to join and make a bigger project, and also with an implementation.
Okay, sir.
So this is how it happens. So these are actually fellowship ideas.
Thank you, sir.
Basically, you just need to ensure after the completion of the 6 months, the deliverable that you present to us should be a tangible one. So let's say the AI-based, the camera system that you'll develop would identify the number plate,
Image
and on the
recognition
basis of it, it will identify the associated license number and the registration number to the person, and it should send a basic message to that person that this amount needs to be paid or this is the fine.
No, we can directly
But that's actually not allowed. You could not directly cut from any of the account.
No, but we can add the bank account to the drive. We can just like link or something else.
No, you should not go into legal issues.
Legal issues should not be.
You can say that I will generate a bill to the person. Okay,
But we can but the thing is if
So simply what usually happens is there are these systems which are already available in multiple cities. So they generate us basically a fine. If you do not pay it next time, the fine would be even higher.
Right. So,
okay.
That's it.
So we should not go into this financial legal issues. That is not required actually. They are non-technical. So these small ideas is a fellowship proposal, and if you implement something, it becomes a slightly bigger proposal.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please. So every BTech student should write some 2-3 pages proposal. That is very easy and very easily completable 6 months proposal, and we have lot of funds in that one.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. This time I am presenting on behalf of my students. They are BTech students. Last night they called me and then we discussed about this project. They heard about this thing, but unfortunately I could not give advice so much. But today, because of some genuine reasons, they could not attend this program also. So I feel I should not speak out on behalf of them if since I could not give any suggestions, what is the criteria, what kind of projects they will sanction and all, I could not give. So I'll just give a brief idea about their proposals, their idea. Then, so that depending on the suggestions, I can convey them. This is the thing. There is a chance or there is no chance. That kind of thing I want to convey to them. The first, I have 2 mentees. So the first one is about solution to autism related issues, he said.
Sir, can you just repeat the title?
Autism, who cannot speak, who are learning, who cannot speak properly. So the doctors are giving therapy and all. So physical therapy they are giving. So what he said is, he's planning to, his idea is developing mobile apps through which that patient can learn by basing on the advice from the doctor, press something and then he learn at home by himself. No need to go every time to doctor. That in local language. Yeah, local language, definitely. So that is initially what that is the idea. Since this project idea is coming up, we are discussing like I don't know, research related needs to be there or not, that I don't know. So what we further discuss is that, like, getting the patient's data, like what is the age, what is the like different data from the patients will be collected, and then the progress will be analyzed, and depending on the doctor will be able to analyze those data further. But that second module is there, it will be, I don't know how difficult it will be. So that up to learning stage, a little bit static, through which a doctor can give the training level. Is that enough, or further studies, data analysis, that should be there or not, that I cannot advise him. So depending on the data and the results, the progress that the patient is having, then definitely doctors, if we can do research part, then definitely doctor will be able to advise, and then further analysis can be done with that result. That is one project we have. And another one is there, that is a kind of a smart parking. So we have just now we have listened some traffic related, that also we discussed. But anyway, let me speak out what we have discussed. In Aizawl, we have numbers of parking lots, parking buildings in different areas. And the government is also advising people to build their own building to use as a public parking, so that they can monetize it, that parking lot. So the thing is that if we can build, but the problem is that if we go to a market, sometimes where is the parking, is it full or not, that we cannot see. So if we can build an app through which we can see a real time data, yeah, this parking building, we have this much number of slot is empty, so that we do not waste our time reaching there. Sometimes after we reach, we find that, yeah, this parking lot is full, so we have to go around here and there. Then that is the solution he wants to give. That is one part for him. Then further we discuss, and then like penalty, those who are breaking the rules, like in Aizawl local councils, it is enforced, all the owner of the vehicles, they have to have the garage, so that at night time they should keep their vehicles in the garage itself. But some people, defaulters are there, thus they are keeping their vehicles nearby the roads. So local council are there who are on duty, then they used to give a fine. Sometimes they give what you call in the traffic, there is one device, they lock the wheel so that they cannot move away. So giving a fine to those defaulter. So how, depending on the number of how many times they break the rules, then the fine also will be charged. Depending on that, such kind of rules can also be implemented. In that way we are discussing. So I don't know how what is
yeah, actually the second proposal as is can be accepted and funded, because it's directly a fintech problem. Okay, so no changes required, you just need to write it. Okay, so if you want to do it in the BTech mode, maybe you involve 5 or 6 students, okay, and they will be given a 7,500 fellowship. If you want to submit a full project, around 50-55 lakhs around, so that is also possible, because the second one is a very relevant problem to the state. And like, I mean, houses being converted into parking lot is not prevalent in many of these states, so we can directly give it a project, sponsored project. Like they will have project staff, that will have BTech students, that will have infrastructure costs. So the direct project can be funded over there. Just need to write to 10-15 pages. We can sit and discuss today, and we can formulate it. It can be a project. It does not seem to be a small thing. It's a big thing. So I think we can fund it as a sponsored project directly. And
okay, not as a BTech.
So
but sir, for a project, full project, you said you require some research related, no?
No.
Okay, fintech is there, then that's fine.
It's directly fintech. So there's no changes required, we directly fund it. So you implement AI and implement it, that we'll see later. That the team will
so actually we discuss about QR code scanning.
So whatever. So but you have to write enough, around 10 pages on the proposal, and it will be directly funded. It's a very innovative thing, and I think it's very unique to many of the states where government is asking households to bring their own parking lot. Right, so this is a very unique thing. So that I suggest that you write it as a project proposal, not as a BTech this thing, because anyway BTech fellowship anyway will come under the project only. Right. Okay, and the first one, just have to make a recast that like if the doctors is giving training and all, so they should also be getting their fees directly paid from the same platform.
Yeah, definitely FinTech will be there in that.
Yeah, that is only small thing you add, that whenever I'm pressing something in the mobile app and getting the training and all, so the payment or the doctor fees should be, getting from the platform itself. So the amount of time the doctor is spending, the amount of, time the patient is spending, based on that a bill is generated and the patient can pay to the patient directly.
Okay.
But the first one actually it's a small BTech project can be developed.
Yes, quite small. But if we include that research part, getting the data from the patients, and then depending on the progress and the results, then doctor will have some more data, and then. But that will be, I think, a little bit difficult for the BTech data analysis research.
So, but actually you can say that with a BTech project, they will just write the idea first.
Okay.
Spend 3-4 months to collect the data, that which doctors will be involved, where they will get the data. So involve 2-3 BTech people as a BTech fellowship. So they will do all the background work. That where the data will be there, which doctors will be involved, they prepare a concept note. And in the next cohort, you just directly write a proposal. But for the second, the parking lot, I suggest that immediately write a 55 to 60 lakh rupees proposal and get it funded.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
But actually the time is short.
Yeah.
We are expecting the proposal by around 10 or 11th like that. And reviews will be done by 20th and money dispersed.
Okay, fine, sir. But sir, next, this is a rolling thing, no? March it will be open again, no?
But I think this is a very good proposal, very unique to one. We see that you get 2-3 more people from other, even some people want to collaborate from here. Please write it.
Okay.
So it can also happen that there is a person from Manipur University, Mizoram University, anywhere you can find a collaborator and. But again, the GST norm says that the PI has to be from the ST community because the special drive.
Yeah.
So I think please write this.
But sir, I think it is an idea from my BTech students. I thought it will be good for them to get the scholarship.
You include them as your interns.
Okay.
So that is a separate funding they will get, 7,500 per month. But you take it as a bigger project.
Okay. Thank you.
So because this second idea that you discussed is going to increase the income for each individual household who's going to build a parking lot. It's an added basically income for them. So it's a huge project, and I think it has huge potential of converting it into a commercial solution. So you could also set up a startup, and throughout the city, everyone would download that application for any of the parking related issues. So you could book a slot through your application, and everything, the fine and everything could be managed through it itself.
Okay.
So this is a huge, actually a great
project, a huge impact project.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just from agriculture background. I just don't know much more about FinTech, so I talk about agriculture. So, agriculture is an indispensable part of Indian economy, right? And it shares almost 18% GDP in our economy. So, there are many agri-tech startups. There are 400 plus startups in India which are related to agriculture, like Ninja Cart, Waycool, Dehat, etc. This market is around $24 million market in India. And even in pandemic time where other industries are still surviving, agri-tech is the only sector which are growing. So by seeing our growing population, their nutrition needs, land to cultivate, limitation of resources, Vertical farming for mushroom cultivation is the best way, in my opinion, to look out for all these problems. It also helps to increase the economy of our country as well as farmers. It is a good entrepreneurship for small farmer, landless labor, and educational institute of agriculture which can be carried out. Like, I want to say some benefits of using it. Like, sustainable use of space, mainly in hilly region. Like, we can use small rooms inside greenhouse, hydroponics, like using nutrition water without soil, and we can also use waste product from agriculture waste, like saw waste, and we can also recycle that product and use it as a fertilizer. So it also acts as a probiotic and anti-cancer, hypothermic, hypothermic, and anti-hypertension effective. It also contains low starch, low in calories, with trace amount of sugar and no cholesterol. It is a good source of minerals, vitamins, free from fat, high percentage of essential amino acid, mainly rich in lysine and tryptophan, which are deficient in cereals. Rich source of protein, as it has higher protein content than vegetable and fruit. It can be edible and used for medicine also. So, like, the technical requirement that I need in this mushroom cultivation, like starting from our educational institute only, being from small startup, then we can expand it also for like further growing on. Like, the technical requirement that we need is control environment by installing sensor to monitor factors like temperature, humidity, pH level, nutrition, as we get a real-time data, and help in taking data-driven decision. It increase the productivity. Like, we can use LED which can produce natural light which are of specific wavelength. We may do irrigation scheduling. Like, we can also produce it in a higher stage after educational institute.
So can I introduce, I mean, whether you are a faculty, student?
No, I'm a student, first year student in agriculture.
Okay, so see, actually the idea is that you want to write as a first year undergraduate fellowship. Yeah. Okay, so in that case, it's a simple concept paper, just to work on a concept. So rather than saying that it's a mushroom, you can say that there's a large portfolio of what are the, I mean, such type of vegetations that can be grown in a controlled environment. So what is the cost of putting the infrastructure by selling it? How much I can gain in Manipur? So make a concept paper.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't make budget yet, but I can.
No, budget basically, see, as an undergraduate student, okay, you are only as a fellowship problem. So in the fellowship, it's fixed. I mean, you work on the problem, you get 7,500 rupees per month as a stipend. Okay, so in that case, but the proposal is not related to fintech right now. So what you have to add there? So you can write a concept note in 6 months about different type of such cultivations which can be done in the control environment. Mushroom is just one. And then you have to also focus on what is the cost benefit analysis. That if a farmer put that infrastructure, that like these sensors, IoT and all those things, after that he has to sell the mushrooms. So what is the amount of gain he or she will be able to make? So that we can say that this is a proposal, it's a concept note. So if somebody wants to do this, by reading at this note, they can find out what is the benefit they are going to get out of it. So every proposal has to have fintech angle has to be put in. So if somebody comes and asks me that I want to make a control environment where I'll grow mushrooms, I need this. Then the next question you will ask, what is the profit I am going to make in the next 1 or 2 years? So your concept note should give that idea.
That we work on it.
So you don't have to make anything. That concept note has to be prepared.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. This is Himanshu Sawarni and team. My teammates are
myself Shobit Gangawat and myself Somajit Mandal.
We are from ACT department, MZU. We are here with a very efficient and time-saving and in a manner life-saving solution for areas like Azal. It is really a challenge to drive on road, And as we, due to many reasons, it is a way more better to use our platform. My friend Shobhit will be introducing the problems we face.
So first of all, myself Shobhit Gangawat again. So we are the students of Mizoram University in Aizawl, which is a hilly area and where rain occurs most of the time, due to which landslides occurs. As a problem, problem, there occurs a transportation problem for students as well as everyone. As we all know that for hostel students, mess food is not good, neither tasty for ourselves. So in order to have a proper meal, for having a proper meal which is tasty, we have to go to the restaurants. For our students, which is usually by foot, which is 4 to 5 kilometers away from our hostel, which consumes around 45 to 50 minutes to reach there. So it takes approx around 3 hours to come back to our hostel and having the food, which is an absolute waste of time for each and every student in MZU. This problem is not just regarding food, it is also for other items such as medicines, groceries, and many other items. Our university provides us, just in general, a bus to go to the city on Saturday, which we have to wait for at least 7 days. 7 days for this opportunity, which is not tolerable for us at least. And on the other hand, if we speak of online order, it generally takes more than 14 days to reach at our doorstep. For that ultimate reason, we have come up with a solution, which will be given by Himanshu.
So as you have heard our problem, we have come up with a solution of delivering items such as food directly from reputed restaurants and delivering at the doorstep of the students, those who are ordering from our platform, with the help of commercial drones, that will be automated, which is far more better than going directly and wasting our precious time. And as we are providing food and other items from reputed and trusted bodies like KFC, Domino's, Bata, Vishal, and many more, in a very efficient way and time which is also pocket friendly. As we are students and can't afford much, as a student this step can be very time saver and health saver also. As for such a student who is feeling ill and can't manage to go to health center within university campus, but much farther to go by foot, leaves us again to our one and only option, which is we are proposing in the university campus. The next part will be conveyed by my friend Shomajit.
As we are providing medical facilities, which will certainly be a lot helpful for each and every student, and even for teaching and non-teaching staffs of MZU also. We would like you to please give us a chance to act on this lifesaver revolution for us. We are doing this because only we have the proper contacts and platform to make this possible and create a healthy and encouraging environment for both students and small or big shopkeepers, MSMEs like that, who are still suffering from going online selling. Here we are providing them a trusted platform which will be much more efficient, where they can grow their businesses and can grab those customers who cannot go there whenever they want to, but of course they can SASIT, our startup name. For this to happen, we could really use your help. So help us to help others, especially the shopkeepers and those customers who can't use the technologies properly, by accepting this idea of a great service. And thank you.
Yeah. So actually, I mean, it's a very, very good idea. So our suggestion is that you actually, I mean, some of the faculty members from your side, you are from your department. So what I think,
IT.
Right. So what I think is that how many team members you are now, right now?
Actually, just for presentation, we are 3, but we are proposing about 10 members.
10 members, okay.
For the
So now the
portfolio.
thing is that actually there are two ways of handling, because my suggestion is that immediately make a startup,
Yeah.
so that we will do it. We will do it for you. But actually there are two modes of operation. One mode is that you 10 people write a proposal and 10 people take fellowship. Okay, so around you will get around 75,000 per month, right?
Actually, we are not here for the 7,500 per month. We are here. We are trying to apply for 5 lakhs.
1 minute. Let me just tell you. So there are two ways. In that, 5 lakhs you will not be able to implement it. You require at least 20 to 30 lakhs budget to do it, because the drones that actually can pick up this payload will cost around 7 to 8 lakhs.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 5 lakhs, I mean, if we neither we will get anything, neither you will be able to develop anything. So
Actually, sir, we are proposing like that. Ki we are going to reputed companies like KFC and Domino's. We are requesting them to invest some money. We are investing some money, and that will do.
No, that is fine. But right now, actually, you should, for whenever you go to Domino or KFC, but you should have one pilot thing running. So what we suggest is that basically you say that you want to write a project. No problem. You first take up then a mentor faculty who can write a project proposal on your behalf.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, and you say that it's a pilot project which will be mainly running in the university campus.
For startup, yeah.
For the startup, yes. Because after that, when the startup is there, we will only handhold you for 6 months. Okay, after that, when you have your product ready, your startup ready, then you reach to KFC, Domino's or whatever, and then you increase. But for the time being, say for example, this proposal is very interesting and we can say that we want to implement this actually for the whatever, but actually the pilot one, you do it in your campus. Maybe you get some whatever medicines or something from the dispensary and drop it in your hostel and then charge some money for the transport. So this system you build. Okay, and just like make a proposal that you need a drone, maybe a controller or some of the spares.
Yeah.
Maybe typically it should not 5 lakhs is too less of money to do it. It may be typically costing 20-25 lakhs. But in that case, you should have a faculty member who will be guiding this proposal. Okay, and then he can say that I will have some 10-15 PhD students and all.
But what sir is telling, it is not the student fellowship.
Yes,
we have to apply for as a project proposal.
But if you want to, the other way is that if you say that I want, you may get a 7 or 8 people as a faculty student. So in that case you get monthly. So that may not be a very good idea.
Yeah,
but in that case, basically if you go for a faculty, under a faculty, you do that, and the faculty will not have any project staff, they will use them, they write a 6 months project. But again, if it's in the ST guidelines, then basically you have to find out
someone who is belong.
Yes, because it already, if you are having some problem in comparison, you can be from any department, because these students will anyway implement.
Also we have a faculty who is implement.
Right, so please do it, because it's a very nice project, and just say that it's a... No, that is what they are saying is that they will not develop for the entire... They will make a very pilot this thing and say that medicines or some food products can be given from the hospital to the hostel, something from the canteen to this. So only this demo run will do and show it, and then we'll invite KFC, Domino's and say that we have a product, please use it for Mizoram and Manipur, like that.
Yeah, surely.
So we can only handhold you for the demo run.
Yeah.
But without this demo run, actually I'll tell you, this big people also don't get interested. So once we have this one, then we can make our live broadcast, invite people and do it.
That is why we are going to conduct a demo session. First, do the basic things, generate, and we will run a test, which will be broadcasted by the university by the permission of our sir. And after that, the process will be uploaded to wherever it is needed. We will be in touch, and this will definitely be a success.
Right.
I think so.
Right. So first of all is that you should have a drone and control design. So for that you require, your team is already there, and you require some seed funding to get the drones and the equipments and put into place. So we'll do that.
Okay. Thank you so much for
So
that.
please get hold of Ajay sir and find out who will be the mentor and immediately write it, so that we can fast track this.
Sure, sir.
And please ensure that the startup company is formed at the earliest.
Domino's and all these come, then we can say that we are actually not a simple university type of a thing. We are a startup working with faculty member as a mentor, and we are implementing it.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any question? Done, right, sir?